Hey, what's going on? I'm Mike, and welcome to episode 2 of Smart Simple Digital. So, some of the most frequently asked questions that I receive are about creating websites. People always ask me, Mike, how do I create a website? What do I need to create one? And can you create one for me? And to be totally honest, today anybody can create a website, regardless of what your technical abilities are or what your budget is. It's simple for anybody. And so in this video, I'm going to share 3 tools that you can use today if you wanted to build a website for your business, for your brand, for your event, or even for yourself. So before I get started, I should just mention that I don't have any affiliation with the tools or the brands that I'm going to mention here. This is just information that I'm just sharing based on my own personal experience and or from research. So tool number 1, Tumblr. And that may be a bit of a surprise for some people because Tumblr is perhaps best known for being a social media and microblogging platform. But the truth is that Tumblr is also a very simple, cost-effective, and powerful tool to use to create a website. Many well-known companies and brands use Tumblr to host their business blogs and special campaign sites. And you can also use it to set up a blog, to set up a landing page for an event, or to set up a portfolio for your photography or design work. It's really flexible in terms of the types of sites that you can create. A few advantages of using Tumblr. Number 1, it's totally free. So there's no cost to join, to set up, or to maintain a site on a platform for as long as you need to. Number 2, setup and customization are super simple. So when you first create your Tumblr site, when you first sign up, in fact, you're given a simple site, a really simple kind of blank canvas site it's totally live on the web, so you can immediately start adding content. But you also can choose from hundreds of themes to give your site its own unique look and feel. And the cool part about it is that you don't need to have any special tech abilities or coding skills in order to customize your website. It's really simple. They make it really simple for anybody to do. So some of the disadvantages of using Tumblr. Number 1, it doesn't include an e-commerce solution. So if you want to set up an online store, this may not be the best tool for you to use. The second thing to keep in mind is that when you create your Tumblr page, the web address that you're going to be given is your company name or your site name .tumblr.com. And that's totally fine. But if you want to create something, or create a web address or domain rather, that is easier for your audience to remember, easier for you to remember, then what you're going to need to do is purchase a domain name, your custom domain name from a domain seller, a company like GoDaddy or Namecheap or some of the other domain sellers that actually exist. That's not, it's pretty inexpensive. Now I know I purchased domains in the past for maybe no more than $30 or something like that for a year, and you can renew every year. But nonetheless, you're gonna have to purchase your own custom domain and then come back and just apply that into your Tumblr site settings. And that way your audience, your customers have a very simple web address to enter in order to reach your page. Tool number 2, WordPress. So WordPress is a web publishing platform, and that is essentially a system or app that allows anyone to easily create web pages and to publish content to those web pages in a very simple fashion. And that content can be text, it can be images, photos, audio, video, anything. WordPress is perhaps the most popular web publishing platform on the planet, hands down. It powers millions of different websites and blogs, including many well-known sites and blogs that you've probably visited at some point or another. You can use WordPress to build many different types of websites, from a simple blog to a landing page, a portfolio, to an online store, or even an online magazine, where multiple people actually have to provide or contribute content. It's available in 2 different versions. So there is a fully hosted and a self-hosted version of WordPress that you can choose from. The fully hosted version of WordPress is super simple. You literally just have to go to WordPress.com, sign up, choose a plan, select a theme, select how you want your website to look and feel, and then it's live on the web for anyone to visit in minutes. So there's a free plan that you can subscribe to, and there are 2 different paid plans that you can choose from as well. The difference between the 2, within the paid plans, you have more space where you can store photos and videos and images and other types of content that you're going to feature on your website. There's also options for live support. So if you run into any trouble, you can pick up the phone and call someone or chat with someone live on the web to kind of help you out with issues. There's also more themes that you can choose from with the paid option. So there's more options on how your site can look and feel. With the free option, you don't have as many of those features. So I think there's just a small set of themes that you can choose from. You don't have a great deal of storage space, so you're kind of limited on the amount of content that you can actually upload. And this is really critical if you want to upload or store a bunch, or feature, I should say, a bunch of videos or audio or photos on your site. One of the biggest perks of the fully hosted option is that you don't have to worry about maintenance or security or site backups, because all of that is going to be taken care of by WordPress, by the company. So that's all done for you. There's less for you to actually have to be responsible for or to actually think about. You just have to concentrate on your site and the content that you want to put out there. So the fully hosted version of WordPress is just great for anybody who just wants easy setup, quick, easy setup, and you don't really have to think too much about the stuff that's going on in the background. So the second version of WordPress that's available is the self-hosted version. So this version, the self-hosted version, requires some advanced setup steps to begin with. The first step that you'll have to take is you'll have to download a copy of WordPress from the WordPress.org website. And you can think of this as downloading a website in a box. The second step that you'll have to take is you'll have to secure web hosting, or a web host. And a web host is essentially a space out in the web galaxy where your site is going to live and grow and just be. The third option, or the third step rather, that you're going to have to take is that you're going to have to upload that website in a box, that copy of WordPress. You're going to upload that to your web host. Once it's there, you're going to unpackage it, and boom, you have a website. And so I'm kind of simplifying these steps, but that is essentially what happens, and that's the advanced setup that you're going to have to take if you go with the self-hosted version. A few advantages of going with the self-hosted version of WordPress is that it offers a lot more flexibility than the fully hosted version that I mentioned previously. So you can install what are called plugins, and a plugin gives your site or your version of WordPress options that did not exist out of the box, and many of them are free. So there are plugins that you can install that will allow you to create an online store, to have a shopping cart feature on your website. There are plugins. They're all different types. I'm not going to go into all of them that are available, but there's just so many. I'm actually going to include some links down in the description area. Another advantage to the self-hosted version is that it's customizable as well. Just like the fully hosted version, you can choose from all different types of themes to give your site its own unique look and feel. And so you can create many different types of websites with the self-hosted version as well, from a simple blog to a landing page to an online store to a portfolio. The list goes on. It's just, you're really only limited by your imagination, essentially. The only disadvantage to this version, like I mentioned before, is that there's some advanced setup. You really have to, kind of roll your sleeves up and kind of get a little bit dirty in the beginning. You have to be really hands-on and involved. You also are responsible for keeping your site up to date. So you have to make sure that you're constantly running the latest version of WordPress. You have to make sure that you are backing up your site so that if anything happens to the host, if your host ever goes down, that you always have a copy of your site. I would say that the self-hosted version is perhaps best for someone who wants to be really involved and just wants to have more ownership over their site and want to know what's really going on behind the scenes at all times. So tool number 3, Squarespace. So Squarespace is also a web publishing platform. It's very similar to the self-hosted version of WordPress that I mentioned earlier. The only difference is that you don't have to go through all of those advanced setup steps. So you don't have to worry about uploading any files or going out and securing a web host, because all of that is actually done for you by Squarespace, by the company. So Squarespace is used by many well-known brands. You can use it to build many different types of websites, from a blog to an online store to a simple landing page, or it's a business website. It's also fully customizable, so you can choose different templates to determine the look and feel of your site. And there's also a site builder component that exists, so you can kind of drag and drop components around on the page to determine where things are going to appear on your site. There are also different plans for you to choose from, and they're based on what you're looking for, what your needs are in a website. Unfortunately, there isn't a free plan, although Squarespace does offer a free trial. So you can, test it out just to see if you like the offerings. I would say that Squarespace is good for anybody who doesn't want to have to go through any advanced setup steps. You just want to sign up, choose a plan, choose the look and feel of your website, and get going. And another cool thing is that all of their plans, or at least most of them, I believe the majority, have an e-commerce feature already built in. So if creating an online store is high on your priority list, and this is a good option for you. All right, so here's a quick bonus tip. So although the tools that I mentioned are all pretty user-friendly and offer a lot in the way of customization, there may come a point when you just hit a brick wall. Maybe you want your site to look a certain way that you just can't get in any of those themes that are out there. Or maybe you want it to behave in a certain way, or have a certain functionality that you just can't achieve or find in any plugins that are out there. Or maybe you're just having trouble in general just getting your site to look and feel and act the way that you want it to. At that point, that's when you may really want to consider calling on a professional web developer, or web designer, or digital consultant of some kind, bringing them in, talking to them, and just getting that extra help that you need to really move forward and just take your whole site, your operations, or whatever it is, to that next level. So just keep that in mind. So I think that's about it. I think I covered just about everything. If you have any questions for me, if I missed anything, shoot me a message, leave a comment. And as always, if you like the video, if you found this helpful, like it, share it, like my page, subscribe to my channel, and stick around, and I'll see you next time.